How's it going, guys? Kyle here with Awesome Sauce News. Today I'm taking a look at a pretty sweet product. This is the Tegra Note 7 from EVGA. And I know you're thinking, Tegra, that's Nvidia, isn't it? And the box is green, so it must be. Which is totally true. This tablet does feature a Tegra 4 processor from Nvidia. And in fact, to my knowledge, I think this product was almost entirely forged in an Nvidia warehouse. So at that point, or Nvidia factory, I should say. So at that point, you're wondering why the hell is the name EVGA slapped on here in the first place? Well, this is my theory, is that Nvidia doesn't really sell products. Right? They kind of make a cool product and then they have another company sell it for them. I think the Nvidia Shield is like the only thing I can think of right now in recent years, recently anyway, that Nvidia has actually taken and marketed it themselves and is selling on their website directly. I think with what happened here is they made a cool product, this tablet, and then they reached out to one of their trusted board partners, EVGA, to help them distribute it and to help them market it and use their distribution expertise to help them sell more units at the end of the day, which is fine by me as long as it's a reasonable, or as long as it's a good product at a reasonable price point. And I think it is. For all the features that you get with this tablet is at a very attractive price of $199, at least at the time of filming this video and the time of its release. So let's take a look at it right now, and let's start off with opening up the box. Alright, so the first thing you will find upon opening up the box is what looks to be a quick start guide. Take a quick look at that. Okay, ooh, specs, here we go. We'll take a look at a few of these. It's got an NVIDIA Tegra 4, of course, 1.8 gigahertz quad-core processor, Cortex A15 72-core NVIDIA GeForce GPU, does 1080p video decoding, encoding, and recording. It's got 1 gig of RAM, DDR3L 1600 speed at 12.8 gigabytes per second. And those are all the other hardware-ish specs that I'm going to get into more when I look at the tablet itself. Oh, here's some diagrams of the tablet, more hardware features that they point out there, some more general instructions on charging your battery. Charging your battery, turning off and on the Tegra Note, pretty simple stuff. If you've used a tablet once or twice before, you probably don't need to look through this guide very extensively, but it's just there for reference in case you need it. Here's the tablet itself. Ooh, it's got a nice weight to it. I actually like that. I'm going to get more into that in just a bit, and here I'm guessing are your charging accessories, like your AC wall adapter that has a USB connector there. So you can plug it into, or plug this cable into it. This is your micro USB charging cable that you can use either with that included wall adapter or with a PC, charge it with your laptop or an external battery pack, and other similar devices. So here's the tablet, here's the face of it obviously, and the first thing you might notice, or probably not because it's a little funky angle, are the speakers. So you've got a speaker up top and one at the bottom. Once again, these are front-facing speakers, and they're being advertised as HD audio speakers, powered by Nvidia's Pure Audio technology, which is apparently a good thing. And they look pretty decent. They almost cover the entire width of the tablet, so we're going to test that out in just a bit when we get into the operating system. Aside from that, you also have a front-facing VGA camera if you want to do some video chatting, or if you want to take a selfie, something like that. Woohoo! You also get a 7-inch IPS panel. Jesus, that reflection. I'm really sorry, guys. 7-inch IPS panel, 2560. Yeah, I just bought a high-res panel, so it's totally 2560 by 1440. Get my numbers confused. It's 1280 by 800 resolution. Not the best resolution that we've seen even on tablets this size, but it's a 7-inch tablet for $200. What do you want? And I'm sure it's still going to look pretty nice when we turn it on. It is IPS after all, and you can see that the bezel isn't too thick. This tablet does not suffer from thick bezel syndrome like a lot of older tablets do, and even some of the more recent ones just look hideous because the screen to bezel ratio is just out of control. Why don't we take a look at some of the features, hardware features on the sides, on the edges here. First off, you've got a micro SD card slot, and that reminds me, this does have built-in 16 gigs of NAND. This is expandable, however, up to 32 gigs of memory if you want to put in an SD card there. You also get a volume rocker, of course, on the down low. I almost said on the down low. Down here you get a stylus, which I was mentioning earlier, and this is a really cool stylus. Let me show you why. First off, I think they might sell interchangeable heads. You could probably take this off and screw in another one. Maybe EVGA or Nvidia sell it on their website. I'm not too sure. But you can see here, this is a special stylus because it has a really fine tip on one edge, and then it's kind of rounded, it's kind of slanted at an angle. So if you want to do like writing, just straight up like writing, note-taking, you use that chiseled edge. But if you want to use like a paintbrush app or something like that and you're doing some artistic stuff, you have a wider edge right here to make those wider strokes. So it gives you some versatility, an additional layer of functionality when you're using a tablet with a stylus, which is always nice to see, a bit of innovation there. And it just tucks right into the bottom, and it actually stays in pretty well, so it doesn't accidentally get lost when you're carrying it around and such. Over here you've got your micro USB charging port. You've got a micro HDMI port as well if you want to plug this in and have your image or your video being output to a larger TV or monitor. You can do so. You've got an analog jack for your audio, for your headphones, and you've got a sleep button. Puts your tablet to sleep or wakes it up. Also turns it on and off. We all know how that works. And let's take a look at the back here. I guess this kind of brings me to construction. This whole thing is pretty much made of plastic, as far as like the top and bottom where the speakers are. Obviously the LCD is glass, but on the back here you've got two areas of plastic here, but on the middle you have a more rubberized texture, and we've kind of seen this on a lot of tablets in recent years. Even more recently, there's the Tegra Note and EVGA branding there, but I'm not sure how much functionality this rubberized texture actually serves, because when you hold the tablet, most of the time, most people, to my knowledge, actually hold it with one thumb here and maybe the rest of your fingers here. You might have one finger in the back, so it gives you a little bit of grip that way. I guess you'd have more functionality with it, more luck, better grip if you were holding it in landscape mode like that. That way you can definitely feel more of the rubber, and it feels a little bit more secure in your hands. Aside from that, you also do get a rear-facing camera. That's a 5 megapixel camera. Also does HD video recording. It's got a 41 milliamp battery, and EVGA and Nvidia are advertising up to 10 hours of HD video playback. I don't have 10 hours to really confirm or deny that statement, so maybe if one of you guys pick this up and you have the 10 hours, you can let me know in the comment section below if that's a true statement, because that'd be pretty cool. But enough about hardware. Why don't we get into the operating system, because we haven't really gone over that yet, and there's some pretty cool things to be seen. So let's do that. Alright guys, so here we are into the operating system, and you can probably tell that this is running Android, 4.2.2 Jelly Bean to be exact, and this is going to offer you a very pure Android experience. There's not going to be any kind of skin that goes over this, any third-party application like that running over it, so there's no bloatware, it's just pure Android. Very much similar to the Nvidia Shield for that matter. Now I'm going to show you guys really quickly what happens when you take the stylus outside of its little silo. There you can see the Nvidia Direct Stylus Launcher has popped up. And it's a pretty cool app. It basically just automatically detects when you've taken the stylus out, and it kind of guesses, well, you're probably going to want to use one of these apps if you're taking the stylus out, and you can always add applications to the Direct Stylus Launcher. So if you tend to prefer using the stylus when you're on YouTube a lot, you can add YouTube to the Direct Stylus Launcher, and anytime you pull the stylus out, it will suggest YouTube as one of the apps you might be wanting to use at that very moment. So this is a good example, a good time for us to go into Tegra Draw. Let's do write first. I'm going to go into write. This is just a basic note taking application, and I'm going to write a note. What should I write? Let's do this. Forgive my awful cursive. Yes. Wow, that was pretty bad. I'm not done yet. This is obviously taking advantage of that really fine tip, the very point of it. As you can see, the thickness of the point that I'm writing with is very thin. So this is great. This is a great stylus for when you want to do thin stuff like that. Get really fine details. If you wanted to like fill in something really tiny, you could totally do that. But why don't we go on to the painting app? That's a little bit more fun than just note taking. Let me see if I can get here. There we go. Tegra Draw is the name of the app, and here we can see that I can still utilize that really thin point on the stylus if I want to make some thinner designs, thinner strokes, but as soon as I flip it over a bit and start using the other side, you can see how much thicker the lines get, and this is really kind of cool because it lets you just do infinitely more things with your stylus as opposed to just being limited to one thickness. And of course there are several apps that allow you to change the thickness of your stylus or of your paintbrush, and that's always fine and dandy, but it's really so much easier just to be able to turn your pen a little bit and do that dynamically on the fly. The other thing I forgot to mention about this stylus, is that it's pressure sensitive, which is a huge thing for me to overlook, so I'm sorry about that. But you can see here, if I just lightly brush it, I'm just barely grazing over. I'm even missing contact at some points, and you can see how thin the line gets. Kind of looks like a zebra almost. But as soon as I press down on it, the lines get a lot thicker and just kind of fill up a lot more. But wait, there's more that I forgot to mention about the cool little stylus pen thingy. And for that, we're going to go into Chrome really quick. And the thing I forgot to point out to you guys was the awesome Lasso tool that you can use in literally any application on this tablet at any time. You just select it, and it lets you select whatever you want. You literally just draw around it like a Lasso tool, and you can instantly share it with your friends and family or whoever via Gmail, Bluetooth, whatever. So pretty much self-explanatory. Thought it was a really cool feature and worth pointing out. Why don't we move on to a more general demonstration? Let's just see how speedy this CPU is, the Tegra 4, by opening up a browser like Chrome and just kind of playing around on a website for a while. And honestly, we're at newegg.com for no particular reason, of course, but really not every app should be used with a stylus pen. It's only, you know, best case scenario for some applications. I think for the web browser, I think we're going to use the good old finger, this guy right here. Excuse me, I just burped. That's nasty. So scrolling is pretty fluid. You can kind of double tap to zoom in and out. You can also do the whole pinch to zoom, of course. I shouldn't look at the camera LCD. I should just look straight at the tablet because it's messing me up. But here we go. Let's just tap computer hardware with my fat finger. Oh, okay. Here we go. And let's check out this. No, I don't want to. Can't look at competitor products. Let's just look at this Rosewell case, because Rosewell doesn't make tablets yet. Here you go. Pretty fluid experience. If I want to go check out something more detail, let's see how crisp or how much aliasing we get out of text. You know what? It's actually really crisp for being a 1280 by 800 resolution. It actually, I don't see any aliasing at all on this text right here, which is really nice. Impressive. Why don't we go to the Google app, the YouTube app, look up an Awesome Sauce video. Oh wow, somebody's been browsing here, and what a coincidence. Awesome Sauce News is the only thing they've ever searched for. It must be a really good YouTube channel. So let's click a video like this. Let's see how video playback goes, video streaming in HD. There's a talking head. I'm not comfortable with that, so I'm going to skip it. So here's an HD video of me building a computer and stuff, getting rid of my old one. This would be a great time to actually turn up the volume and maybe hear, oh my gosh, I just powered it off. Or I just made it go to sleep. Sorry. Alright, as I was saying, this would be a great time to test the audio, the speakers here. Crank it up. Have a listen. You're listening to this, these are the front-facing speakers on the tablet, and it's coming into my lavalier mic that's currently clipped to my, my shirt. So, take that for what you will. I'll let you listen to the music for a little while, watch a bit of Awesome Sauce. It actually sounds pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you know what? For tablet speakers, they're actually pretty good. I've heard a lot worse, and I guess that pure audio technology from Nvidia really does help in that regard. That's cool. That's enough. We got to the CPU. I think you guys know the rest. But here is YouTube pretty much, and it's also very fluid and responsive. Kind of see what other channels we can look at here. There's a bunch of stuff. I can't really play any of their videos though, because then they'll sue me, and I'll be even more in the hole than I already am. Alright guys, so the last app that I'm demoing for you today is the camera application. And really, there's not too much to say about it. It doesn't have that many bells and whistles to it, but there is one thing worth mentioning. It does come with the SmugMug Camera Awesome app, which is pretty much, whoops, I don't want to go to Facebook. Anyway, it's one of the top camera apps on iOS devices, and this is the first Android device it's actually being offered on, to my knowledge, and it lets you do cool things like take slow motion shots at 100 frames per second and put on a bunch of extra filters. Honestly, I'm not too big into the whole mobile device photography craze that's been going on for the last few years, but some of you are, I'm sure, and I guess it's worth noting for you guys. So here we are inside the camera application, and I've decided to use my DT880 Pros as the subject of my shooting, just because they look nice. And pretty much standard camera features. You can actually tap to autofocus, which is really handy. Here are some other features here. You've got your single straight up shoot, burst, auto burst, HDR, self timer. You can do intervals, continuous bursting. There's image stabilization. You also have all these features for video, only the ones that apply to video, of course. You have panorama, that's also cool. Let's see what else we got here. Let's go back to single camera mode, and obviously you can do video. Let's take a look at the settings for video here. You can do ISO, Settings, auto white balance. I think that's brightness. Yes, that is definitely brightness. Pretty cool. You can also switch it to the front-facing camera. Oh gosh, that's creepy. Switch it back, switch it back. All right, you've also got a little leveler there. It tells you exactly if your picture is straight, if you are parallel to the tops and bottoms of your shot. Kind of a useful feature. You can make it go away if you want. You also get all this stuff. It tells you little grids if you want to do a little bit more professional shooting and you care more about, I guess, the placement of things in your photo, in your photography. You can access these little grids and they will help you in your aesthetic eye. I'm not making sense right now, but you get the point. Alright guys, that is going to wrap it up for this unboxing and overview. Once again, this has been EVGA's Tegra Note 7 tablet powered by Nvidia. And this is not a review video at all, and in fact I only spent a couple hours with this thing, so I don't really feel like I've had enough time to give you an honest review of it so far. But I can tell you my first impressions, and that is for being at $200 starting, that price point is pretty appealing for all the features that you get along with it. Mainly I'm talking about the Stylist and all the applications and the software that you can utilize with it to really optimize that pen experience on a tablet. Screen looks great, no aliasing from what I can tell from my naked eye on text, even up close. And it's just a solid all-around tablet with decent speakers, more than decent speakers, and I would recommend it right now, but I'd obviously have to do a full review to do that. I highly recommend that you guys go look at other articles or videos that do actual reviews on this product and decide for yourself if it's the right tablet for you. But that's just my opinion and first look. Thank you all for watching the video. I'm Kyle with Awesome Sauce News. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Send me a like if you enjoy this content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.